The Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet. Hi everybody, welcome to The Art and Industry of Business and Living. You are with your host, Simone Milasas, and I am at home for 3.5 days. So I am actually pre-recording this in my bedroom in Pridgian Beach. Surprise that I'm actually at home. It's interesting coming home and having to unpack and pack at the same time, leaving for Costa Rica on Saturday, which I'm super excited about. And today I have the wonderful, amazing Amanda Belluso on here. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Simone. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here too. And you just arrived in Florida, I hear.
Yes, I just arrived to Boca, Florida. I'm going to be here for about a week and facilitate some classes and stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
Nice. Awesome. I so love that we get to travel around the world and facilitate consciousness and change people's lives and have a hell of a lot of fun while we do it.
Oh yes, me too.
Now, you are a, what I'm going to call, I don't know if it makes sense because you're actually from Sweden, and I'm going to say you're a licorice all sorts because you have a lot of things going on, like most humanoids I know. You are a joy business facilitator. You manage Right Voice for You, which is another specialty class in Access Consciousness. And you've also got the House of Belluso, which is a business with your brother and your husband.
Yes, correct.
And what I actually want to bring people to, because I sort of think that sort of, puts everything together, is you've just created this website, and a business called blondegirlbusiness.com. And tell me a little bit about why you created this and how this got started.
Well, it was actually at the Joya Business Facilitator training this July, so just a couple of months ago, where we had this really fun exercise of creating videos. And the exercise was basically to create one really good video and one really bad video. And it was so much fun. It was so
funny. It was hysterical.
It was so funny. And it was so interesting to see that, like for me, the first thing that just came out of my mouth when I was going to do the bad video was to, play the stupid blonde, basically. So I played a lot with that. And then I realized that, wow, that's exactly what I'm being judged for and where I have actually been sticking myself for quite some time. So I started playing with that and looking at it from a different point of view. And I just asked basically, what if I can use this to my advantage instead? So I decided to create that website and start doing some Joy Business classes and some business consulting and stuff like that with that kind of angle.
I love that though, because now everyone has to go there because they're like, well, what does she look like? So go check it out, blondegirlbusiness.com. But you are a beautiful blonde Swede. So interesting topic that you brought up too, though, is something that you would be judged for, like being the beautiful blonde. And it's like, so you can't be a beautiful blonde and be intelligent and be successful in business. Is that the sort of judgment you're talking about that you've been coming across?
Yes, for sure. And I started running businesses and basically having employees when I was like 23 or 24 or something like that. So it's something that I've been receiving for a long time. And I started with taking over part of an old family business together with my brother, Victor. And it was a lot of projections and a lot of judgments of us being young and of me being a young girl and all of that. So it has been in my world.
You had over 100 employees with that business, didn't you?
Yeah, we did actually. At one point when we were the biggest, we had like 120, I think. So it was quite a big business.
So you're being 23 and you're having people of all ages as well.
Yeah, and 90% of them were older than me.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple of questions with this energy, because I know that this would come up for a lot of people, especially nowadays. It's not, years and years ago, it was like, go to school, go to college, get the education, get some experience, and then you work your way up. But nowadays, with the way we are in the world with, internet, digital social, all that sort of stuff. It's like you can be a CEO at 18. It's like you don't have to put in the quote unquote the years and the experience and have all the letters after your name. What I see you have to have is a demand in your world to say, I'm doing this and I'm creating this no matter what it takes.
Exactly.
So let me talk about, I want you to sort of walk us through a couple of things here. One is, what was it like for you with all of those judgments being projected at you? And did you ever stop what you were creating? And then what tools did you use to actually come out of that? And what could people sort of take from this to find a way where that's occurring for them and change it?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like in that situation when me and my brother decided to take over that company, we actually, like, I didn't really use the tools of access back then, but they were there somewhere because my mom has been using the tools for a long time, etc. So somewhere we did ask the question of what will this create? Which is something that I today use very actively all the time with my business and with everything else. But back then, we somewhere knew that it would create, but we didn't really know what. So anyway, we decided to take over this business. And it was 4 years of struggling, basically. And it was a lot of interesting things going on. And at the time, I thought that I had made a mistake for taking it on from the beginning at times. But now I really, really see the gift that it was. But it basically came to a point after 4 years of running this business where me and my brother just looked at each other and like, why are we doing this? Because we were not happy and we were not having any fun. We were not making any money with this business. And it was just a lot of drama and trauma going on. So yeah, we basically started looking at, so what would we actually want to create? What would be fun for us? And after that conversation, it went really, really fast. And we basically just closed the whole company down. So I guess that the tools that I used both during that period, during those 4 years was, well, during the 4 years, maybe I didn't use that many tools, unfortunately. But changing all of that and actually going into the business that we have together today, House of Belluso, was really, really looking at asking myself the question of what do I want to create? What kind of life do I want to live? And basically, what is fun for me?
Which is a really different point of view. I mean, you've hit on a few things here, and the fact that you guys were actually able to sit down and go, okay, why are we doing this? And we're not having much fun here, so let's change everything and shut the company down. Because one of the things I see that occurs a lot is that people create a company, they create a business, and because they created it, they think they can't let go of it. It's not true. I mean, I think the only thing in this world that's, not that easy to get rid of is a kid. It's like, have a kid, I'm sorry.
Yep.
You're the one that went boom. You've got to deal with that. I mean, and yes, there are ways you can adopt, etc. But a business, just because you start it doesn't mean you have to continue it. And I've seen, I get to see you guys all around the world, and the joy and the happiness that you guys exude from your choices is something I get, that you were actually willing to let go of everything so that you could have everything. Like if you're changing everything.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Well, and it was interesting because we did, since this, like, it was our grandparents that started this business in the 60s. So there was
a family business. So you're meant to carry it on. That's your job.
Exactly. Yeah. So my mom took it over in the beginning of the 90s, and then me and my brother came in, and there was so many projections and expectations of us, taking it on and making it grow and being, because my mom has always been very successful, and everyone thought that I should live up to what she has been creating. So yeah, it was an interesting journey for sure, and it was a long period. It was probably a period of a year or two of I want to say, like, breaking free from all those projections and expectations, and really, really go more, or step away from that and really go for what we really wanted to do. And it was not always that easy, but it was really a demand of, like, it's not worth it. That's what it came down to. Both me and my brother, we were like, if we're not having fun, it's not worth it. It really
Yeah.
isn't.
So did you get much support from the family in moving on, or was it something you had to sort of fight for, or what was that like?
No, we got a lot of support, which I'm really, really grateful for. Like everyone really just understood, and our mom was like, "Hey, I don't care. Like the most
I love
important
your
thing for
mom. I
me."
happen to
Yeah,
know your mom. She's great.
yeah, she's amazing, and I'm so grateful to have had her support both through those 4 years because we learned a lot. Like I'm 29 today, and I've gone through a lot of different things when it comes to running a business going from 120 employees down to 30 at one point and being close to bankruptcy and lawsuits and you name it. So I'm super, super grateful for all those experiences and also, of course, for my mom's support and really grateful for her just looking at us and like, hey guys, the only thing that is important for me is that you guys are happy. So choose whatever you want to choose, basically.
So you are very lucky to have, supportive parent like that. It's brilliant. And
Yeah.
one of the things I just want to mention too, because you're saying that you're 29 and you've done all these things. And I see so many people also go to the wrongness or go to judgment of what they've created instead of actually being grateful for what they've created and taking that with them. I mean, I've done so many things. I've lost businesses, I've sold them, I've shut them down, I've had successful ones. It's like, you need to choose these things so that you can actually create your life. And choice creates awareness. It's like choose something and then you can move on. It's like you don't have to stick to it and you're allowed to change it. So what sort of tools and things like that can you offer people for looking at areas like that and the ability to go, you know what, I think it's time to do something different?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things that I use a lot now with everything, including my businesses, is really to not make it too significant. Like every time that I notice myself going into like, I don't know, drama and trauma about like, oh my God, what would I do if I didn't have this business? Or every time I'm like, well, I wouldn't die. Like I would still be here and I would still create. And I don't know what it would look like, but I know that I would keep on going, I guess. So it's both that of non-significance and also, as you mentioned before as well, like being willing to lose it. Because if you're not willing to lose it, you will actually not have it all either. And I always look at like other really successful people around the world. Like Richard Branson is a huge inspiration for me, for an example. And I know that he started like 100 companies that all failed before he started Virgin. Yeah. Which is just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
And he just kept on going.
No for an answer. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So really that non-significance, being willing to lose it, and also just make the demand of yourself of keep on going. And for me, it's been a learning curve, I want to say, of actually trusting myself and knowing that, well, I will always keep on going because honestly, like, what is the alternative? I'm not going to lie down and like die. I'm going to keep on creating no matter what.
But I think that's the key to it too, is to keep on creating, because it is about creating. It's not about getting it right. It's not about getting it wrong. It's about what can you create for you to have fun. I mean, I love that you guys are actually choosing, to choose what next. So let's talk about some of the businesses that you do have. I mean, right now, I think you're in Florida. You're going to be doing a foundation class with your brother and your husband, 3 of you. And then tell us a little bit about House of Belluso.
Yeah, I mean, every time I try to describe what we do, I'm always like, we do so many different things. True humanoid style, we always have like 20 different projects going on. But House of Belluso is it's based on photography, because my husband, Andrea, is a photographer and has been for the last 40 years. So when we started House of Belluso, we wanted to kind of combine the world of photography with consciousness, basically, and with the tools of access. So we do workshops and seminars and stuff like that all around the world, mainly for photographers. And one of the interesting things showing up as well is that there's a lot of non-photographers showing up to our classes too, which is awesome. Yeah, it's really cool, actually. So we do that, and we have a lot of online content on our website. The website is houseofbelluso.com. So you can buy products in the shop, and there's videos, and we have a really cool membership, and we play a lot with that. And then it's also commercial photography. Yeah, a lot of different.
And they also do, if you've seen any of the shots of me, I'm pretty 90% sure the ones you see of me out there are from House of Belluso.
Yeah.
It's Belluso, just in case you're wondering, how the hell do I spell Belluso?
Exactly.
So I highly recommend doing, if you need shots and stuff like that, because it's actually so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's every single time I've done it, I was like, wow, this is great. And I remember the first photo shoot that I had with Andrea was in a boardroom that we snuck into in Copenhagen.
All right.
And he just put the lights up, and I had a change of earrings and, a couple of changes of things, and just quickly went, great, let's do this. And it was great. It was a great photo shoot. And we made do with what we had, but it was brilliant. It's you could have taken hours to try and find somewhere to do it. And it was like, no, quick, let's sneak in this boardroom.
Yeah.
So
and that's
awesome.
Really the cool thing with Andrea as well, because he's really, really good when it comes to light. That's kind of his specialty. So
he's really, 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 really good. He's awesome. He's amazing.
Yeah. And it's so much fun. And I've learned so much from just watching him work and learning from him. And the fun thing for me as well, because I am not a photographer, and I had, taken a few pictures before I met Andrea, and now I'm playing with it more and more. And it's so cool for me to see, both for myself and for others during our workshops, etc., that when you see a picture and you see the change that can happen, either during, if we facilitate the person in front of the camera, or just by changing the light or changing the camera angle, it's impossible to deny the change because it's there. You see it in the pictures. And that's what's really cool with having these workshops and classes around the world, because it's more tangible, I want to say, for people. So it's a really, really cool way of showing, for an example, one of my absolute favorite access tools, that is your point of view creates your reality. Because we really see that with pictures, if you move the light or if you move the camera, and it's a different point of view, it's a completely different energy in the picture. So that's kind of what we're playing with showing people that in their pictures. That's a lot of fun.
We do have a previous podcast with the 3 members of House of Belluso, which you can get on my page as well. So you can find that if you want to look at the history. And I do want to correct you on one thing, Amanda. You said you're not a photographer. I'm sorry. I've seen the photos you've taken. I think you're a brilliant photographer.
Thank you.
Just so because you may not have studied it, etc., but you live with Andrea, and I've seen your photos and the way you take photos of people in class and that, and it's brilliant. So I think you are a photographer. I think you need to change that.
Okay, I'm changing that now. Thank you.
Cool. So what other classes do you have coming up in mid-October through to the end of the year? You've got a Joy Business class coming up, I think.
Yes, I have my first Joy Business class coming up in Stockholm, October 12th to the 14th. So it's a Business Done Different masterclass that I'm super, super excited about. So that's coming up. And as we mentioned before, we have the foundation now here in Boca, Florida, in just a couple of days. And then our schedule is actually quite loose for the rest of we're going to be in Australia in almost the whole of December, which I'm very excited about. You're coming
to find out what it's like to have a hot Christmas, I hear.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like my
it's damn
first
hot. Everyone
Christmas
complains
ever.
about the weather. It's usually so hot on Christmas Day, and it's everyone's finding some pool of water or being in air condition, and you do not have, the traditional really hot food for Christmas. A lot of prawns going on and things like that. So it's
very, very different from Christmas in Stockholm, in Sweden.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to being in Australia. I love Australia. Then we'll see what we're going to create there. I think we might actually do an art exhibition in Brisbane.
Great.
With some of Andrea's photographic art. And we're looking at different possibilities. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you can find Amanda too on accessconsciousness.com and also at blondegirlbusiness.com. And I want to ask you one more question before we leave today too. On your website, you've actually asked a question here. What if you didn't have to work hard to have a successful business? And it's like that sort of, spins people out. They're like, what? I meant to, put in a lot of hours, etc. So what's something you could add to that, or just give people like one tool or something to walk away with, getting that can actually be a reality? It's not just something you say. It's not just something you write. You can actually be it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that has really been, instead of dividing my life into different parts, like dividing my life into work and free time and, pleasure or whatever, I really made the choice a couple of years ago to just see my whole life, as I love that in Joy Your Business as well, that you talk so much about, of your life is your business and your business is your life. And that for me has really been the key thing, of not making that distinction, because now I'm allowing myself to really follow the energy when I'm creating and when I'm working. So instead of, having these 9 to 5 business hours at an office, which never actually worked for me, even though I tried it for many, many years, now I'm just following the energy and allowing myself to, like, oh, now I actually want to do this for a couple of hours, or tomorrow I'm having this meeting at 12, which means that I can sleep until 10 a.m. if I want to, and really just allowing myself to follow that and not get stuck in that structure of having to work certain amount of hours and all of that.
And I think not going to judgment is one of the things. I mean, when you said, I can sleep till X amount of time tomorrow, it's true. It's like, I mean, I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning, but I'm also, I don't know what my body clock's on, but then I'm about to go take, my child and my niece and nephew to the movies. And it's like, so you don't live that structured life. It's like, but not being in judgment of what you're doing or not doing. That's, I get what Amanda's talking about too, with following the energy and the willingness to see what pops up and you go, oh, okay, this, or even, it's like, oh, make this phone call now. And it's like, when you get that hit is what I say, like when something pings you, it's like, follow that, because that will create so much more ease in your business. Yes,
for sure. That's something that I'm also so grateful for with my mom, because she always worked very, very hard and a lot. And when I was like 10, I think we got a dog. And she used to say that she actually worked the most when she was out in the woods walking the dog, because that was when she was the most creative. Yeah. So I'm really grateful. Like, she has given me a lot of these tools as well, which I'm very, very grateful for.
I know that all too well. When I go and walk my dog on the beach, it's like I'm always got my phone, because I'll come up with a zillion ideas. So I like record myself or write little messages or even make little videos or something. And it's like, working hard doesn't have to be, sitting in an office or at your computer or, on the phone. It's like it's following the energy and integrating your body into that too, like going for a walk in the woods or on the beach and then saying, okay, what are we going to create today?
Yes, for sure. And it's really that thing of creating from a relaxed space, instead of like this, I have to do this and I have to work. I've only worked for 2 hours today. And as you said as well, like really stay away from that judgment.
Yeah. And if you're working 18-hour days and you're having fun, that's totally fine too.
Exactly. I have those days too.
Exactly. So, Amanda, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And you can also find Amanda on accessjoybusiness.com. You can also find any Joy Business facilitator. We nickname them JCFs on accessjoyofbusiness.com. Lots and lots of classes coming up all around the world. I'm actually doing a class in Noosa that's going to be live streamed, and it's called Kickstart Your Business, and that's in November, and followed by a 3-day masterclass as well, which is in November in Noosa. So you can come to Noosa, Australia, because it's just going to be fabulous, or you can jump online, so live stream. So you can join on the 23rd of November, Kickstart Your Business. It's just one evening. live stream. So go to accessjoybusiness.com. And like I said, find all the other JCFs there and get your butt to a Joy Business class, because it is one of the most different classes I've ever been to. And my favorite thing is we have this thread with all the JCFs in it. And every time they facilitate a class, they're like, oh my God, I love this class. The manual is brilliant. The people just loved it. And to me, that enthusiasm is what creates such a difference in the world with business and with the adventure of business and living. So,
yes, it's amazing. I'm so grateful for you and for the tools and for Joy Business. It's awesome.
Thank you, Amanda. So you have an awesome class, and I'll see you probably in Australia.
Yes.
And okay, thanks everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Art and Industry of Business and Living.